What's going on, YouTube, fam? This your boy Tony 2 times, and we back with another episode of Hood Tales, man. Before I start, be sure to tap that like button. Definitely watch this video to the end to hear the full story and all the details in the case. For the day one, fam, y'all already know it's all love. Thanks for tuning back into another episode. If you're new to the channel and you feeling the content, feel free to subscribe. Definitely hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time we drop a new video. Oh yeah, feel free to share the channel with your peoples. Everybody is welcome. Let's get right into the story. It's one rule that everybody that ever played in the streets, associated themselves with street activity, or are still active in the streets know not to do. Do not snitch on no one under no circumstances. Meaning, you can hear but don't hear, see and don't see. If the police comes around asking questions, you don't know, or I didn't see nothing, is the universal answer. But we all know in reality, it almost never really goes like that. The street codes and rules probably went out the window before any of us even jumped off the porch. But you have some individuals, regardless of anything, they live by that code, which is understandable in certain situations. Meaning, if me and you out here trapping, robbing in the streets together, you get jammed up and them people ask about me, it should come naturally for you to say, I don't know yo, never saw him, and take the charge. And I look out for you because that's what we both signed up for. But the lines get blurred a lot when street dudes expect the old lady across the street, clerk at the store, or mailman that witnessed you do a hit to live by those same codes, because they are civilians and they didn't sign up for the lifestyle you chose, and definitely do not owe you any loyalty. For decades, people who get caught in the act of a crime or have witnesses willing to testify against them have tried to figure out ways to keep people quiet so they can beat the case, and most of the time that comes with violence. But sometimes the streets get so deep and cold, family can turn on family, especially when a person is facing football numbers. And to be the case carrying a life sentence, it's no level of credit an individual will not go to touch the streets again. And on this episode of Hood Tales, we'll take it all the way back to 2012 in PG County, Maryland, to discuss a case of a man who ordered a hit on his own uncle to keep him from testifying. Back in 2012, 25-year-old Nico Mayhew had a lot going on in his life. Nico had came from a street background, was a trapper, had been in shootouts, run-ins with the law, but by this time, something started changing in a young man's life. 2 years prior, in 2010, Nico became a father, and his son and girlfriend meant everything to him. Nico was trying to turn a new leaf on life, but with his street ties, it was hard, especially considering who his nephew was. At the time, 23-year-old Brian Mayhew. Brian was stated to be everything the streets glorify: a shooter, trapper, finesser, cutthroat individual who will do whatever to make sure he came out on top. A year prior, in 2011, Brian got jammed up when his name came up in a double hit of two cousins, 28-year-old Anthony McKelvin and 24-year-old Sean Ellis. The two men were stated to have ran across a lot of money, and ears to the streets, Brian allegedly heard about the situation. So when a car was found with the two young men in it, unfortunately gone, the police knew the motive was robbery. As people stated, the two were together and carjacked at gunpoint. Before their bodies were found on the crime scene, it was gas and bleach used to get rid of the evidence. It was at a construction site, but it was no suspects. Eventually, the street started talking, and after a police investigation, Brian's name came up as the shooter. He was tracked down, taken into custody, charged with 2 counts of first-degree hit and other charges as well. As police dug deeper, Brian's uncle's name also came up. Police figured out he contacted him after the fact to help him buy products to destroy evidence. Nico was brought in for questioning. Out of fear he would be connected to a homicide case and be taken away from his family, Nico made a decision that changed everything. He cooperated and told police his nephew called him and told him he needed him to buy bleach and gas and bring it to him at the construction site. Now detectives had not only a key witness, but a family member of Brian saying he knows for a fact he was the shooter. Nico wasn't charged, but police revealed to the man to stay out of trouble, he would need to take the stand and testify on his own blood. This caused the man to get paranoid. Even though he had a solid reputation in the streets, also he knew his nephew was a different type of beast. But Nico was put to ease when detectives let it be known he won't find out you are our key witness until the day of the trial. Then after that, we will get you and your family somewhere safe. Fast forward back to 2012, Brian had been locked up for over a year fighting his charges and was calling home from jail. On one phone conversation, he even chopped it up with his uncle, asking him what's up, what's the word, and did he know somebody's phone number.
Nico.
Yeah, what's up, man?
Oh, all right, man. I love you, young. Hey, you don't know Teddy number?
This made Nico feel like everything was cool, and Brian didn't know he was cooperating with police. But Brian was rocking his uncle to sleep. Through family and friends, Brian got word his uncle was going to testify in his up-and-coming trial. But he wanted him to feel like it was all love, so Nico could feel comfortable talking to him, giving out information about his whereabouts and what was going on in his life. But Brian had a plan. From the jail, he would make calls to two of his guys, 24-year-old Stanley Winston and 26-year-old Anthony Cannon. In cold, Brian let it be known his uncle was a rat and they needed to take care of him, get him out the way so he could come home.
Get it all the way up.
What you think I'm gonna do?
I don't know. I just got, I got to put it down how I do it, no nothing less. You hear me?
The two men agreed they would stand on their business. As the trial date got closer, Nico became worried, knowing he broke the street code and now his street reputation for being a stand-up guy was gone down the drain. But his biggest fear was his nephew finding out. In December 2012, Brian was on a jail call again with Stanley and Anthony, excited to let them know, like, yo, it's on, it's time. I know the time and date my uncle is going to see his mother with his son.
Showtime, Ma.
No question.
Look, got the time and all that when he supposed to be there and everything.
When asked what about Lil Man, Brian stated, man, I don't care. Do what y'all gotta do. Then on December 19th, 2012, Nico woke up early, got his 2-year-old son, and headed to his mother's home in Seat Pleasant, PG County, Maryland. He pulled up, got out the whip, and as him and his son entered the apartment building, two men came out the cut, approached him, and let off multiple shots before fleeing the scene. As Nico's son cried from being shot, his mother ran outside to find her son suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. Local police were called to the scene to find Nico's son injured but stable. But unfortunately, Nico had been shot in the head and was pronounced gone on the scene. His mother was devastated. As family members tried to calm her down, she let it be known that Brian had to send a hit. Worried she was saying too much and putting the family in harm's way, they tried to stop her from talking. But she stated she didn't care and Nico didn't deserve that. At first, it was speculated Nico was hit by rivals or other drug dealers to get him out the way. But Nico's girlfriend and mother, his son, let it be known he wasn't even on that type of time anymore and was focused on being a father and family man. His only worry was Brian. A maintenance man who witnessed the situation told police he saw two men approach Nico and let off multiple shots before fleeing in a BMW heading in the direction of DC. Also, surveillance footage from the complex caught the incident. When detectives went to the jail to speak to Brian, he claimed to have no knowledge and he had love for his uncle. But police felt he got him out the way 2 months before trial. Brian tried to cover up his tracks by using other inmates' jail number to make the calls so it wouldn't be linked to his account. But the calls were still found. And now Brian, Anthony, and Stanley were all three the main suspects in the hit. Detectives decided to check Anthony's and Stanley's phone records to see if it pinged in the area at the time and location Nico was hit. And Stanley's phone did. The two men were located and taken into custody, charged with the murder of Nico. Also, Brian was hit with more charges. As Brian's first case made his way to trial for the hit on the two cousins, even without Nico taking a stand, he was found guilty and sentenced to life in prison. 4 years would go by, and in 2016, all three men, Brian, Anthony, and Stanley, were found guilty of the hit on Nico. Brian got an additional 85 years added to his sentence, And Anthony and Stanley, life sentences plus an additional 105 years for their actions. Rest in peace to Nico. I send my prayers and condolences to his family, especially his son, who at 2 not only had to witness his father gunned down, but also was struck himself. Hopefully one day he can heal from that trauma. Also Nico's mother, who walked through her front door to see her son lying there. I'ma leave this one open for discussion. Let me know in the comments who you felt like was wrong in the situation, Nico or Brian, and try to be respectful. And remember, we gotta succeed not to fail, so we won't be just another hood tale. Yeah, man, crazy story. Rest in peace to Nico. But I ain't gonna talk too much more about this one. Like I said, y'all let me know what y'all think about the situation. I appreciate you if you made it to the end. This another episode of Hood Tales. This your boy Tony 2 times. Love, fam. I'm out.